Hi people, welcome back to the channel. Let's start with this one. Did you feel the energy shift noticeably at the weekend? If you did, this might speak to you. If you didn't, it's coming. So what I started tapping into is really the tail end of last week. And we are 20th of February today. Happy New Moon. Yeah, tail end of last week. And okay, it's coming in quite fast, right? So there are two videos that I want to get out. And the first is when Saturn moves into Pisces, which is a couple of weeks. And the next is when Pluto moves into Aquarius. But over this weekend, Pluto's just come in, stormed the field. And the energy feels a certain kind of way. And I might be picking up on it differently to you. So I'm not going to speak my experience in. So I've gone straight to the archetype cards because Pluto's been moving through Capricorn for some time. I'll come back and do the details on this. Destroying the house of Capricorn, basically destroying patriarchy, well, transforming patriarchy and structure and linear creativity, all of that toxic masculine shit. And so I went straight to these. So it works with archetypes and structure and belief systems and practice. So the energy is going to be quite fast for this, I sense. So just go with me. So I felt Pluto come in this weekend. So I'm jumping ahead and I'm doing a Pluto reading. So I searched the charts. What is this very specific energy? Because it's coming in with sensuality. And I found there is now a Venus-Pluto sextile. They're less than a degree apart. And it's a very specific energy. Okay. Now, if you go back to the last reading or the one before that, where I was working beneath the base chakra, that's the energy that's coming through. It's very deep and you're going to feel it very differently to one another. It depends where you are on your path. Okay. But Venus is calling for sensual expression, sensual feeling, sensual receptivity. Pluto wants to transform something hidden under the base, and it's very base sacral. And I've drawn some archetype cards, and I'm okay for time. The first archetype the first set, let's read them in sets. The first set is Servant, Vampire, Advocate. Okay. So this Servant, Vampire, Advocate is speaking to, actually it's speaking to the parentified child. It's speaking to the child that gave away its power to take care of the parents. And in giving away its power, became servant to the parents. It's that energy, it's child energy. As the parents vampired the child's energy. Okay. And so my question in reading these cards, so the top is kind of representing how we are now, what's being exposed. And as I've gone down, the stories get bigger. But as I land at the bottom, I want to know what's the elevation, what can we look for, expect, work with. And the elevation is to become advocate for the self. What's that going to involve? It's going to involve drilling right down into the base chakra to find that voice. Okay. Find that voice of authority. Okay, understand that one. So the giving away of power and becoming enslaved to another's need for your energy and input is going to be elevated to personal advocacy. I think I said in the last video, did I? I make my own decisions, thanks very much. It's that voice. Yeah. Okay. Now, you know I don't read inversions, but this one came out upside down and I was guided to read it inverted because it is the poet. Okay. The poet that wants to express itself from point of view of sensory perception and how it experiences this plant that sits in front of me, how it experiences the light of the day, how it experiences you, this. Okay. And the poet has the words, but the words might be buried, which is why it's coming out inverted. Okay. So that's the archetype that's going to start peeling open, is the poet, the inner poet, storyteller. Ability to tell one's own story doesn't even have to be an artful project. Ability to tell one's own story. Okay. Without getting lost or tangled in the seaweed, because we're talking deep emotions here, of the inner trickster, or indeed the voice of the parent that behaves like the trickster, that says, basically says, you can't because you're only good for this. Don't do that because I don't like it. Don't do that because it's nothing to do with you, that's the parent. So the trickster energy is going to be exposed and elevated. So you might feel a bit mercurial, get into the emotion and allow the process, because that's what wants to happen here. Pluto wants to get right into the rubble of you. Okay. Then after the trickster, we move into hermit energy. And that's kind of, I've got 2 of Cups coming through with this, is to make the commitment to what does my soul ache for? What does my heart crave? Okay. And to go into that hermit energy. Because what follows the elevation is the eternal child. That's interesting, because as I was guided to bring out the Isis deck today, I was feeling that energy of the solar child. Okay, so child eternal, so it's rebirthing the child that got buried under all that rubble of serving something other than itself, not being able to express through that passionate, sensual, fire-breathing belly. Child eternal. Okay. And now, because I've spoken that through, I want to turn the poet the right way up. That feels better. That feels like I've just put a missing brick in a wall. It's like the wind has been whistling through that gap in the wall for thousands of years, leaving this permanently cold spot. Okay, still with me? So servant is going to be elevated, the poet is going to be released. And the last group of cards, well, Spirit went crazy with this. Okay. This is going to be the onion. And I don't know the timeline on this, but we're in the anaretic degree of Pluto in Cap. Do you want me to read the Sabian symbol for that? Bear with me. Dun, dun, dun. So Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008, and it will move into Aquarius on March the 23rd until 2043. Pluto, 29 degrees. Well, it'll be between, yeah, it's 29. A woman reading tea leaves, the quest for inner understanding through all life conditioning. First approach to reality, child. Desire to transcend routine. Wow, that's profound. The quest for inner understanding through all. This is massive. Okay. Right. Easy. It's going to activate some throat chakra work here, because what they're showing me is this collective here on Earth as this simulation in the human experiment. Let's call it that. Call it what you like, but let's call it that. The end of the simulation, obviously, because we've been going through this karmic wipe for a few years now, and it's gathering momentum. It's kind of gathering that 29. That's down 29 again. The cleaning up and letting go. And what they're showing me are like loads of people all sat at keyboards writing their final report to send up to the mothership. It's that upload to the modem. It's the final upload. Okay. How did I get there? I don't know. Let's get to the last story. The last story is gossip. Now, there's a lot of people. So we've got this 44 energy, which is kind of this bringing heaven to earth. It's building it. So you've been building it in the etheric, and now it's kind of pulling that blueprint down into the physical, into the earth to build it. And there's a mirror in there. And so this gossiper could be the internal gossiper, and we have trickster on the table. And in that 44-8 energy, some people are pulling in new time. They're birthing new timelines now. Okay. Do you remember a few videos ago I said, you're going to be judged. Deal with it. Because there's going to be a lot of profound change. Okay. Pluto in Aquarius. Transformation of the collective from the high through the higher mind. That's really pulling it down. And so check your internal voice, number one. Number two, if people gossip about you, they gossip about you. You've got to learn to deal with that. There's no easy way to get around that. Okay. And the light attribute here is awakens considerations for the feelings of others. Okay. There's a line with there that I would caution you not to cross. And the line is micromanagement of other people's feelings to such an extent that you turn the poet inward, that your voice gets squashed because you're micromanaging. This is the peacekeeper, people pleaser energy, child that couldn't get cross. Okay, so gossip is in the house. Gossip has the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The magic message. Okay, let's do them like this. Gossip has the power to self-sabotage. It cannot truly sabotage another, because if their desire is strong enough, they will pursue whatever it is that they're building or releasing or revealing. Yeah. Oh, bear with me. Oh, wow. That's amazing. This is going to rebirth our relationship. These are all coming off the bottom. Okay, I may not have time to go into these. I may not have time to go into all of these, but this is the underlying story of what's going to be built. I lovingly guide you. These books here, this one, and this one, are all written by David Dida, and the energy that's been coming through has been very sensual, intimate, sensual intimacy. So David Dida has written many books, but the three I was studying last year are The Way of the Superior Man, Dear Lover, and Intimate Communion. So that's, first book is written for the masculine, to get him into his masculinity, second for the feminine, and the third is what sacred communion looks like. And this underlying story is very exciting, right? Let's go to what's going to come out. Do you remember, I think it was last video when I said there's going to be some soul work coming out? It's here. It's here. Because if we're doing a big inventory of what did I experience, but the energies are so light now that we don't have to get lost in it. We can be intelligent with it. This is what I experienced. I self-sabotaged. I did that for 3 years because I kept making this excuse. Okay. I kept martyring myself to another cause and hiding behind someone else's need so I didn't have to feed myself. But the Hierophant is on my back and it wants me to rewrite my own gospel. And I don't know where to start, and I don't do it. And I don't be all of that. I don't be my own inner priest. I'd rather be a Samaritan for others and be useful in the world and have purpose in the world and be valuable in the world. But can I be a Samaritan and save myself? Or will I just prostitute out my love? The big strokes. Okay, I say, I read these cards and wow, you've put in some heavy energy. And did I? Yeah. And the underlying card to this reading is bully. So it might present as bullying energy. All of this is bully. How we bully ourselves, or how we bully others, or are bullied by others. So I say that's an interesting, big, thick, dark story. It doesn't feel dark though, but that might be my lens. What's the elevation? How's this going to elevate? Okay. So in the elevation of poet, we have child eternal. In the elevation of the gossip, we have the nature child. Ooh. This is the free child. Free child runs into a room, goes, fuck you, runs off. Yeah, it's described here as friendship with animals and love like unicorns, but free child state, dancing with Pluto, will be a thing to behold. In the energy of Aquarius, it was limitless. Okay, so the elevation is back to nature child. That's what's hidden beneath the base chakra, is the original blueprint for the solar child, for the child that you came in with, the goddess. Abundance, fecundity. This is Empress energy, pregnant belly energy. I'm ready to birth. Okay. So that's all kind of for the 2023. Now, what did I just say? Pluto is in Aqua for 20 odd years, but it's going to swing back and forth. Cap Aqua, and then once, I think twice, it goes into Pisces, but it's going to do this for a few years before it comes fully in. So it's going to be gentle. Thank you, Pluto. Look at this for an underlying story. I get 9 energy with this, which is the dissolving of the egoic Messiah. Don't like that word at all. To becoming humanitarian, and Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. It is showing up, pulling your sleeves up and going, right, what needs to be done? Not about me, what needs to be done? Seeing the bigger picture, serving something much bigger than yourself. Again, 9 is the end of a cycle. It is that 9 is a difficult energy. If you have arrogance, ego, self-importance, you're going to struggle in that 9 energy, because the 9 wants you to let go, fall into the Fool. Let go. It's difficult energy because it's the birth of humility. So it could be the stripping away. It's very loving. 9. But in that 9 energy is where you come in as advocate for yourself. I've got you, let go, let go. But they'll see me in a different way. Ego, let go. Interesting. Oh, more interesting. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so when I saw the word God, I went straight to that news headline that the church is rethinking their use of the word God in the masculine context. And then I was shown this like carriage clock with its casing removed, so I could see all the wheels turning. Wow. Wow. Okay. So I'm just being reminded this morning I was working in the liminal, which I'd completely forgotten about. And I'm working with the dark triad energies, and I'm working with the pillars that have created this society. And I kind of land somewhere in war. That's right, war, and the language of war and the language of terror, and how that is rooted into our DNA. War in the name of God is where I arrived. War in the name of God. The card that comes after that is engineer. I'm fascinated by this. It's like re-engineering the machinations of what we understand to be God. Oh, looky here. Right, engineer. Resolution to a common dilemma. Okay. And I'm talking about the David Dida books about sacred communion. We have the child and we have the Empress on the table. So we have Mother God, Father God, the natural child, eternal, and the priestess. Yeah, okay. That's for you to dance with. Okay, so let's put Goddess back over here. So we have God, engineer, change. If anything can change the machinery of what we understand to be God, it's Pluto. Messiah, engineer, God. Done one. Now, this is kind of sacred sexuality. This is Kundalini. It is passionate, intimate, vulnerable expression. It's as powerful as it gets, and it's as humble as it gets. It's like the snake that has shed its skin. Positive, seductive. It's the positive, seductive. And I mean, can you feel that? That's disgusting energy. It's like, it's right at the seat of the throat, and it's probably right under the belly. About what has happened to sacred sexuality. That's big. So the re-engineering. God as an expression of sexuality. Did I just put God and sex in the same sentence? I did. Okay, so Don Juan, it's resurrecting. This is rebirthing the sacral. This was all coming through last year. There's nothing really new here. It just seems edified. Seeker, seek within yourself. Got hermit on the table. We've got the advocate. Find your own answers. Do not be swayed by society and structure. It's all falling down. If you lean on it, you'll fall down with it. Thirst for wisdom. This is the hermit, 2 of cups, joined at the hip. Absolute commitment. Go within. Yeah. Pioneer. An alchemist. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's Aquarius. Do I need to go anywhere with this? So yeah, there's some deep work coming up. Deep work underneath what we've been working with. Deep work. And I want a couple of these. And then I have to go. Of course. So I'm standing in Pisces, aren't I? See, I don't always put the pieces together. I just kind of randomly go all over the universe. But if I'm standing in Pisces, I am in the deepest ocean. This is the iceberg. This is the iceberg melting. This has been coming in since last July. We have a couple of final messages from Isis herself. Some initiation energy here. Okay. Cartouche. Choose to release that which would lower your vibration into fear. Come back to love. Stay true to yourself, and you'll inspire others to think or speak more positively when they are around you. Invoking the power of speech, this is the throat, and words for your strength. Invoking the power of speech and words for your strength, protection, and spiritual growth will work effectively for you. So this is taking ownership of where sometimes you might need to shield. You might need to shield. You might need to keep your exciting, eternal child plans secret. Yeah, come back to love. Very easy to say. Very, very easy to say. Isis is in the house. Queen of Heaven, the divine empress of the skies, acknowledges your feminine authority now. It doesn't get any more sensual. I'm not talking to women, I'm talking to humans. Feminine authority is a man's ability to express his sacred masculinity by feeling it. That's the feminine. As a man or a woman. You have a life path of spiritual leadership to bring qualities of mercy, compassion, and wisdom into the world. Well, okay. Sometimes that equation includes severity. Mercy and severity are the two pillars on the Kabbalistic tree of life. In the middle is the harmony. Okay, there are no two opposites that cannot be reconciled. We've got so lost in this new age love and compassion that we've forgotten how to be severe. We've forgotten how to pounce like a panther or snarl. We've forgotten that. That's belly. That's belly. Okay. Interesting. Wings of Isis. You have a special spiritual relationship with the angelic worlds. Part of your soul purpose is to birth angelic consciousness and values such as fearlessness, compassion, and service into this human culture. This oracle also brings your angelic assistance, intervention, and confirmation too. So there's lots of galactic frequencies that are helping us move into the higher heart and the higher mind. Okay. And the underlying energy. Oh, Lordy. Oh, my Lordy, Lordy. Big underlying stories here. It's going to be a big year. I think it's safe to say it's going to be a big year. Oh, Lordy. It's hard work. Okay, I'm going to whiz through these. So we have initiation. When you are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power, there are moments of profound challenge, as there is with soul work. The key is to find the light within the challenge, the opportunity for growth. So if we look at these, to get from gossip to goddess, you're going to have to run the gauntlet or avoid it. Both are choices. No right or wrong here. Opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during your challenges. You'll thrive. I disagree with that. I disagree because I work elementally. So I work with my fire element. That's my transmuter. And that's where I burn shit down. If we're not willing to feel the burn, if we're not willing to burn to ash a part of us that's anchoring us and transmute that energy, it's like a recycle. We recycle energy. Energy is just energy. So that goes back into the resource bank at a cellular level, and then I've got more resource. It's just resource. This is where we don't get lost in the emotion. We just transmute energy that's become heavy and gloopy. Where am I? Initiation. I think this is going to come. Okay. Magic and ritual. Okay. I'm guided not to read any further here. We have Spirit of Isis. So we have Queen of Heaven, Wings of Isis, Spirit of Isis, Divine Sisterhood, Flower of Life. Yeah, it's the blossoming, the beginning of the blossoming. I'm going to put those back, and if they want to come out again, they will. And for a final, where am I going? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you, Venus. What a partnership. My gosh, that's too many. Just only the most worthy can pull the sword from the stone. We were here, what, 7 months ago? When all that Arthurian stuff started coming through, sword in the stone, was coming through so many readings. This has got the same energy. It's Merlinian. I will pull my truth out of myself when I am worthy. When I have transcended all of this trickster, Samaritan, martyr, old Pisces, boop, throat chakra, then the truth will come out. And it may come out with severity, and it may come out with love and compassion. Initiation, initiation. Okay. So, as I say, Pluto moves into Aqua 23-3-23. I'll talk about those numbers. I'll do another reading. There was another sentence on the end of that, and it's just gone poof. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. Happy deep diving. My contact details are in the description box with all my decks, although I found this the other day. Avalon, Merlin. Okay. I haven't put them in the list yet, but Avalon Magic. Put that then. Your life lessons will be repeated until they are learned. Okay. I will only be able to pull the sword out of my stone, rubble, sword, truth, light, when I am worthy. Guidance is on the way. A lot of guidance. Woo. Wow. Beautiful. Have faith in yourself and in higher powers. They lead you in dark times, even when you feel you've lost guidance. You have to get lost sometimes. You have to be confused sometimes. You have to not know sometimes. Okay. Beautiful. Be fierce, be brave, do things that challenge you, search for your own sacred grail. And that's it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave you with my love. Have a cracking week, whatever that looks like for you. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment. Love your comments. See you soon. Bye.